Hello again, everybody. This is Dan Palumbo. We're going to be doing something a little different today. We're going to be talking about an NDB approach, or it could be a VOR approach. And we're going to be doing the NDB approach to runway 1 right in Wichita, Kansas. And the question is, can we do a VOR or an NDB approach in Blue Needle, i.e. RNAV GPS? And the answer is yes, we can. However, you must monitor the VOR or the NDB facility. How do we do that? We'll do that by tuning the VOR or NDB station frequency into RTU number 1 and RTU number 2, the left and right radios. Then you would select the VOR or NDB overlay bearing pointer to be displayed and monitored on the nav data page on DU2. Well, where's DU2? It's right here. What do we have selected now? We have the map page, and we can also select the compass page, which is right here. We select the compass page, and we'll be able to put our overlay needles here. We'll get back to that in a moment. So let me show you how to do this. We're going to use the NDB approach to runway 1 right in Wichita, Kansas. That's KICT. The first thing we need to do is load the approach, and the approach must be listed in the FMS database. Okay, let's load this approach. We want to go nav, arrival, runway. We're going to do 1 right. We want to do the NDB to 1 right. And we want to go to IC. We want that to be our transition, India Charlie. And now we'll activate. So now what do we have? It tells us ICNB. All right, NB stands for NDB approach. So IC is the identifier, ICNB, and you see the P. The P means we have to do a procedure turn. We got to go to the facility. It's going to take us out, do a procedure turn us back to the facility, and then to the runway. While we're here, we might as well put the minimums in. The minimums today will be what? For straight in, looks like 1,760. So we'll come up to the flight ref page. We'll select MDA and 1,760. Here we go. We'll box it and we'll make sure that it shows up on the PFD. So now we have our approach in there and we have our minimums in there. The second thing we have to do is tune the ADF to IC. That's India Charlie. The frequency is 332, right? Okay. 332. Let's try to do this. We'll go to radio. So what do we have here? We have COM1, NAV1, ATC1 and TCAS. We also have next page. Let's hit next page. We have HF, and then right down there is ADF. So let's select ADF, we'll highlight it. Now the big knob is going to change the hundreds. So you can see the hundreds changing, and we want to change this to 3. The medium knob in there, tenths. So we need a frequency of 332.0. Let's put that in there. 332.0 is there. We'll hit return. And let's do the same thing over on this side. So we'll go to the next page, ADF. It's going to give us the hundreds. There's the 3. It'll need to give us the tens. We want 332.0. We have that. We're returning. Now, something else we have to do is identify it. How do we do that? There's ADF1. Let's put the speakers on. ADF1. See if we get a Morse code. Okay, we have it on number 1. Let's see if we get it on number 2. ADF2. All right. So now that we've tuned and identified India Charlie, that's the frequency for the NDB. The third thing we have to do is go to the display controller and look under the compass page. Now we can look either under the compass page or the map page. The compass page is going to show this a little better and in full. We want to choose a particular bearing pointer for radio 1. Let's go up to the display controller, and we had it on the flight ref page because we set our MDA. We have the map page, and you can see bearing BG says off, and it says BG with a little circle. And then right underneath that, it says BG with a diamond. The diamond means the second radio. The little circle means it's going to be on radio number 1. It's probably easier to see this if we pull up the compass page. So let's pull up the compass page. There's the compass page. Now we've already identified our frequency. So now what we want to do is go up here to the bearing All right, see where it says BG, press that, and you have different choices: auto, FMS1, VOR1, or ADF1. We're going to be doing the ADF, so I want to see what the needle looks like for ADF. Let's watch and see what happens. Look at that, pops right up. You see that little circle here? That little circle means it's pointing to the station. If the circle was behind us, it means we've already passed that station. And the same thing with the VOR. So let's get rid of that. Let's turn that off. Let's go back to bearing. We'll select off. And let's go to the next bearing, the one with the diamond. Let's press that. And let's see what it looks like if we choose ADF number 2. That's over here. That's on that radio. ADF 2, let's push that on. And what do we have here? Oh, we have a double line. And the diamond, there's the diamond, it's pointing to the station. So we can track bearing pointers either on VORs or the ADF, of course the FMS as well. We have the FMS down here, so we don't need that. And in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to return. We're going to go back to BG2. We don't want to use that. That's the other side. And we'll select off. But what I do want to see is the ADF overlay on this approach. We're going to be flying it in Blue Needle, but we need the overlay. So how do we do that? Go to BG1, that's the one with the circle, that's our side, that's the left side. I'm going to select ADF1, and there's the needle. And on this side, we can do the same thing. We can go to the compass, we can select bearing, we can choose ADF2, and now we can see ADF2 working on the co-pilot side, ADF1 working on our side. I can also go back to the map page. When I go to the map page, that bearing pointer is still there. It's just a little easier to see on the compass page. All right, let's fly this approach. So let's go direct to ICNB with the procedure turn. Direct, we'll select it. And how are we gonna get there? We're gonna press LNAV, and now the airplane is going to go direct to that point. How far away are we? We're a little ways away. But as you can see, we're going direct to our point. We're going direct to that facility where we will do a procedure turn to get turned around. And look at this. It's a Blue Needle going direct to our course. And the bearing pointer says, where's the station? Right in front of us. So while we're en route to India Charlie for the NDB approach, let's take a look at what the approach actually is. It's going to be the NDB runway 1 right to Wichita, Kansas. The frequency is 332. We have that set in radio number 1. We have that set in radio number 2. Final approach course is 016. We don't have to set anything there because we're going to do this Blue Needle. Going to be over the LOM, and that is India Charlie, at 2,700 feet. But we have a procedure turn. So we're going to fly to India Charlie. We're going to fly outbound at 3,000 feet. And then as soon as we do the procedure turn inbound, we can go down to 2,700. We'll cross Pitchy at 2,700, and then we'll go down to our minimum, which is 1,760, which we have already set. So we're basically coming in this way. We do that procedure turn, get ourselves turned around, and then we'll go inbound. Looks like we're about 6.5 miles away. Let's just see what happens here. For those of you that care, this is Kansas. Pretty much looks like every other place. There's the airport, right out there. All right, the airplane is slowing down. 200 knots, about 4 miles away now from the NDB station. Let's just watch. Track change, here we go. It's making our turn. Still an FMS. There's our Blue Needle, and there's the pointer. There's our station. Station is where? Right there. Right off our left side. Now it's behind us. It's going to turn us around really nice. We'll put 10 degrees of flaps down here. We might as well. Flap selected 10. Auto speed will show 180. And it does. By the way, let's review that procedure turn. Let's go direct, pattern, review. Look at that. Angle, course, outbound time, distance. Figures it out for us. Almost idiot proof. We are on our way back. So since we're holding 3,000 feet, I can set the next altitude, which is 2,700. Won't do anything, I'll just set it. Okay, so now we're in our procedure turn. We're flying the outbound that we're supposed to fly. Now we're going to make that right turn. So 151, turn us back around to a heading of about 331 to intercept that 016. See what we do. All right, there's 331, and here comes our course. Beautiful job done by the FMS in the airplane. Roll out. And there's the airport right there. Okay, so now we're established inbound. We can descend down to 2,700 feet. We've already preset that. We're holding 3,000. That's going to be our next altitude. We're holding 3,000. Our next altitude now is 2,700. So let's do some vertical speed here. Only need to go down about 300 feet, so I'll do about 500 feet a minute to get down there. Let's do flaps 20. Auto speeds will show 160. We want to be configured way before the final approach fix, so let's do the gear down before landing checklist right now. Gear selected down. At 3 green. Nutcracker left and right. That's good. And now we can arm the ground spoilers. Warning inhibitors coming on, checking the brakes and the hydraulic fluid, and we'll do full flap down. All right. Now here's where the fun starts. We've got about 3.4 miles until we get to the NDB. And we want to see that needle swing. But notice this whole thing is being done on Blue Needle. There's our runway right out there, so we're looking good. Let's watch that swing. All done on Blue Needle. We're holding 2,700. Altitude is holding. So now we can set what? Yeah, our minimums, 1,760. So we'll go set 1,760. There she is. And we're going to wait for station passage. How do we know we have station passage? Look right here. But watch for the swing. Be pretty neat. We also have a wind coming out of the west, 270 degrees at 10 knots. And that's why it's just off, just slightly. It's crabbing in the wind. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. All right. There's FMS 1 and 2 approach lights. So we're good. There's the swing. There it goes. Station passage. Outstanding. All right, let's go down. I'm going to do this a little more aggressively, about 1,000 feet a minute. We're fully configured. There's our runway. Make sure the box is properly sequenced. And it is. The next thing for us is what? The runway. And then after that, of course, we have our missed approach procedure.
1,000.
That's above the ground. Of course, standard call-outs. There's runway 1 right. Everything's looking good. And that, my friends, is how we do an NDB or a VOR in Blue Needle. Just make sure you have the overlay up. Have a great day. Happy flying. Bye-bye.